Mic check 1 2.
Just me and you, Shane. Brandon, can you hear me?
Yo.
Is it just me and you?
Nah, Shahid's back here. Shahid pulled up quick.
Oh, don't do that.
Yo. What up, Shahid?
Ooh, excuse me.
Just nasty, Chris. You just coming here just being nasty.
Damn.
I apologize. I didn't even expect it to come out. I just had some pineapples. I'm gonna tell y'all. If y'all have a Sam's Club near y'all, go to Sam's and get the pineapples and coconut water. Those things are so delicious. I swear they like crack. Like,
wait, pineapples and coconut. Wait, separately pineapples and then coconut water. They're on sale or some shit, or is there?
No, I'm gonna get a jar. Hold on, I got a jar. Hold on, show you.
Show me what you talking about, man. Show me what are you talking about, Wes?
Pineapples and coconut water. That sounds like what I bathe my that sounds like
This right here.
That sounds like something that I need to eat before she come over.
Let me tell you something. If this ain't cracking this ain't even a mason jar.
So wait, that's pineapples. That's sitting inside of coconut water.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you
Go
just
to
eat it
Sam's
straight.
Club.
You just eat it straight like a snack.
Yes, I eat a whole jar in one sitting. It's only like 8, maybe 10 spears. Now, if you don't like pineapples,
Nah, I fuck with pineapples. I just
I'm saying not you. I'm just saying like in general. Like if a person doesn't like pineapples, okay, it is not for you. But if you like to eat fruit, if you need like a midday snack, whatever, you want something sweet but not like, wow, like sugar, it's full of sugar. I mean, even though it's full of sugar anyway, but it's pineapples. I mean, it's literally pineapples. And
I got you.
Yeah.
Fuck, I got a Sam's Club account. I got a Sam's Club account. I ain't been to Sam's Club in 5 years.
You still pay the membership?
Yeah. It's automatic and shit.
I'm about to say auto debit, yeah.
Got a Sam's Club account. Don't even go. I ain't been to Sam. I haven't walked into the front doors of a Sam's Club in over 5 years, and I have a membership.
But you don't shop either, so
yeah, I don't. It's one of those why get rid of it type things, and you never know if you land a dope woman that'll be able to cook. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen for me, but I got my hopes up. Shahid, is it true? Is it true about what they say about brothers eating pineapples?
I only heard that about women.
No, I heard about it. I don't.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know if it's true.
I guess I asked the wrong person. I should have asked Mr. Love 911. Right?
No, you can't ask him nothing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is absolutely true.
So you want a little special attention, fellas? Have some pineapples. How far in advance do I need to eat the pineapples, Wes?
So here's what I've done. What I've just done for years now. Once I discovered that, first of all, I heard it as a rumor, and then I investigated it. Right, found it to be true per per witnesses.
Yeah, for her report back. Okay.
But it's not just about the
And
pineapples per se. It's about your diet as a whole.
right. So here's what I've done. So and now it's just a part of my regular life. So I keep pineapple juice. I always drink pineapple juice. Um, there's always a carton of pineapple juice. If I'm having orange juice, I'm putting a little pineapple. So pineapple juice is constantly in my diet. And then I love asparagus because apparently
Asparagus.
asparagus does the opposite of the pineapple juice. I'm saying that I love it, but I cut it out of my diet. So instead
Oh.
of asparagus, I do something like broccoli, Brussels sprouts. And so for years, I haven't had asparagus as much as I love it. And
Damn, Chris.
um,
Okay, so wait. So am I tripping? Is that
there
something
you
I need to
go.
go to the? So y'all telling me I need to, bruh? Listen,
This is
nutrition is the
Yeah.
one thing I know how to do. Everything else on the planet, I'm a fucking nuclear physicist. But when it comes to cooking, I am out. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So y'all telling me I need to go get some pineapples and just? You said you put pineapple juice in your orange juice?
Yeah, you ain't never had orange
I
pineapple
always
juice?
Yeah, when it's mixed from fucking like a Dole drink or some shit. But I ain't never like had took some of
right.
my.
So it's hard to find
This
pineapple
is double
juice.
right here.
At any given time, it can be hard to find just straight pineapple juice, the Dole's pineapple juice in the carton. So I have to hunt it down. But yeah, I keep a
That's because
carton
you
of
don't
that.
really
And
shop, Wes.
hey, man, I tried it all out here, man.
All right, so
Target,
let me just put you on
Ralph's.
game.
But wait. Wes was giving me the recipe. So what's the recipe, Wes?
Well, what I'm saying is because eating pineapples, right, might not be, something that you're able to do all the time, right? But you can always knock down a glass of down, adding pineapple juice to your diet on a regular basis, and then cutting out certain acidic things. Like I know asparagus is one for sure to cut out because that gives the opposite effect or taste to
Your lady friend.
right,
Okay.
right.
All right. Listen. As much sex as I've had in the last 34 years, I never really, and I always heard about the pineapple thing. It never really tried it. Never was like, okay, tonight, it's gonna be popping. So let me, like, how much time do you need in advance, Chris? Like, do I need to if I want to get that blowjob at 9, I need to drink the pineapple juice at what time and shit?
So my diet is so I don't have like drink it before this time, right? My diet is pretty good, right? I
Oh, so
don't eat a lot.
it's already in your system. You just drink
Yeah,
it.
so
It's part of your staple.
hypothetically, you probably want to give yourself. I mean, kind of like if you're gonna take a blue pill, give yourself a couple hours on an empty stomach. You know what I mean? Maybe
I never took a blue
that.
pill though.
Huh?
I never took a blue pill, so all
No,
right.
I'm just saying that's what they say. Like when you take a blue pill, you want to take it on an empty stomach, or any medicine, you want to take it on an empty stomach, right? Couple hours before you eat, whatever the case is. So I would say 2 hours. But Wes, this right here, this Dole, um, is 8.4 fluid ounces, and it comes in a 24 pack at Sam's. This also comes in this jar comes in a carton, well, like a little tray of carbon, whatever I'm saying, tray of 6. So go to Sam's and get the pineapple juice, and the pineapple juice at Sam's is typically all the way in the back of the store. And I don't know, I know every store is not the same, but typically all the way in the back along the wall where there's the juice. So they'll have juice across that wall, water, juice, fruit punch, Gatorade, and all the way at the opposite end, you'll be able to find those pineapples in the case of 24.
So
I just drink the pineapple juice.
so Hayek Kai says more mango as well. Does mango give the same effect?
So I heard that, but so like when I was married, I heard that mango is like an aphrodisiac. It kind of helps you. I don't know. whatever.
Is the system kicking y'all out? Because y'all keep going in and out.
Yeah, so I got kicked out and said, I was disconnected. I'm like, what? I was literally about to ask that because I see Shaheed is disconnected.
I am connecting to our streams differently tonight. I'm taking it from this software to Restream. Restream is distributing it to our 4 platforms, whereas previously I distributed it straight from this software to our platform. So tonight is a little different, which should be less taxing because I'm having Restream do all the heavy work instead of my computer. But I don't know why you guys are getting kicked out. So if it gets weird or whatever, I'll kill the stream and we start it over again, or we'll just have to deal with it for tonight and I'll go back to what I've been doing. But all right, it's crazy week in Blackistan. Kanye has been in the news like a motherfucker.
Are we done with pineapples?
Wes said, "I want you to stay right there, Terry."
I mean, I'm just making sure. I want to.
Do you have a regular diet? Like, do you drink a lot of water?
Say that one time. My thing cut out for a second.
Do you drink a lot of water?
Yeah, I should drink more though. I have moments when I'm staying hydrated as I should, and then moments when I'm like dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Now,
so
one of the moments.
Yeah, what really helped me is I tried to cut out like the fried foods. Not that I'm totally perfect, right? I still eat fast food every once in a while. When I do get out, I try to eat like a salad, like if I'm gonna have lunch or something like that. But yeah, man, they put crack in these bottles, bro. I mean,
wait, what you drinking,
Get that? Huh?
You drinking?
BCAAs, my standard BCAA that I drink every day.
So here's the other thing too. What I would suggest is, now I'm not sure about you're the supplement guy, but all I really do is like protein shakes and whey protein. But if we're taking supplements and all kinds of vitamins, that's another reason I think to just logically speaking off the top of my head would be another reason to reinforce pineapple juice, because you've got all of these things that your body's releasing that's normally not in your regular bloodstream or not. I mean, it'd be unnatural, and so that may have a taste to.
You're right. You're right. Cause see, I take 7 multivitamins every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And and so I'm and that's a lot. So I'm pissing out the extra nutrients. I'm sure that shit is coming out.
Right.
Oh, maybe that's one of that. Maybe that's why she complained and shit. Okay, so I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's hilarious.
Hey man, we got to get this shit right.
Yeah, man. I just added pineapples to my shopping list. I'm gonna make sure I get some of that stuff and just make it as part of my diet. I like what Chris did. Get it by it, and that's just juice cans. It's not so much that you have to eat the pine. Is the juice, because the juice is what really matters, right? It's not the rind and all the other shit. It's
right. It's the flavor. Yeah. Yeah,
all
for
right.
sure.
All right, cool.
And then if you're really feeling freaky, you can kind of pour it. You know what? I'm good. Well, I don't job by the nightstand.
Yeah. Well, I was I'm single, so I don't got. This is all in theory for me. My little boo thing. We kind of like we ended that recently. So. Mm-hmm. I don't know, what do you call it? I'm back in them streets. I never really left, but now I'm both feet planted and shit, back in the streets.
I'm working.
I'm hard to deal with, man. I'm very. I've realized, and this is a common complaint from women in the last 25 years, at least the last 25 years since 97, that I am hard to deal with because I am too demanding. I am a very demanding man. And I understand. I know I am. I tell them this when I meet them. When I meet women, when I get to, Shahi said it won't let him in. Hold on. Damn, it won't let Shahid in. Hold on. Try this, Shahid.
Well, since
so
Shan-
I'm
Yeah, you
very
were saying
demanding.
too.
Hmm?
Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
I was
Demanding.
trying to get Shahid up in here. But what I was gonna say is, I'm very demanding. I'm very demanding, and most, and but the thing is, I warn people of this in advance. So, is it just me, fellas? Is it? I read a meme the other day, or was it today? It said, if you want a relationship to last, don't. Oh no, it was like the number 6 things of relationship killers. One is, it was just naming off a few things, but one of them in there was be more like me. Like number 3 was be more like me. Go ahead.
No, keep going.
And so the be more like me part is that hit me like, damn, because I know that I'm oftentimes telling people to be more like me. Now, what I mean by be more like me is effort. Now, I always say the number 1 reason for divorce in America, probably in the world, is not finances, it's not infidelity, it's not irreconcilable differences. It's something that's more intangible. It's called the lack of effort. The number one reason for divorce between men and women is lack of effort. Somebody is not trying. Either he's not trying, either she's not trying, either he's checked out or she's checked out. Maybe one of them tried years ago and the next one is trying years later, but now it's too late because the one that tried years ago is like giving up. Whatever the reason is, maybe the marriages that last and work out is because 2 people are trying at the same time. But the point is, somebody's not trying. Right. Now, if both people are really trying, then typically things work out. So my thing is, when I say be like me, I demand excellence out of everybody that I'm around, everybody in my inner circle, all my close friends, all the people I make money with, and the people that I'm, in an intimate relationship with. So if I'm doing a certain thing, I would want the other people or the person or the woman that I'm with, or even business partners to do the same. So that line in there where it said like the number 6 relationship killers, be more like me. It's almost like, is that a good line? Because be more like me is saying, try as hard as I am. And if you're not trying as hard as I am to be whatever it is that you're not being, then, I'm like, fuck it. Yo. Why bother?
Yo, Shan, you're on to something. Go ahead, Go ahead, Chris.
This is you.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment,
you run a mile. You from the football, and I will break my job. And then
you run a mile.
Run a mile.
That's me. I am a drill sergeant. I say, yes, I get it. I am a drill sergeant. I do no excuses over here.
But here's the thing though, Shan, you can't treat a woman like you treat yourself, because they're parts of you that you haven't tapped into that they need from you.
Explain.
All right, so perfect example, right? I'm working on a contract, and I sent it to a woman, and I asked her to look at it. Um, I'm not great at drawing up the contract and making it look pretty, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know what to put. I know the content to put on it. She comes back and says, "Hey, I've read over it. This is what you need to add. This is what you need to put away. You need to put this in there and put this in there." There's a way that a woman just compliments you as a man, um, and she brings the the softer side of you that is there, but you just don't know is there, and you can't access it unless she is present. Like you could be drilled, boom, 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 get it right every day. But what if that's just not her? Like, what if you're missing her because everything you want to be line upon line, precept upon precept, perfect, flawless, always in order, always that. And what if sometimes she just wants to have a little chaos because what you need is a little hair let down? Like she wants you to just let your hair down because that's what she brings for you. Because everything is always so boom, 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 boom. Maybe she just needs you to, and you might need that. And you might not know you need it until she comes around.
Okay.
Well, let
You
me.
ignore that completely.
Go ahead and cook, Wes.
Well, I was just gonna say, brother. You and I have some similarities, and you know, high intellect is one of them, and it calls for uh, a person. It's hard for us to, I would say, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but it's hard for us to accept a
Mediocrity.
lesser mindset. It's more so about mindset, and that goes into intellect as well, into and so I understand your struggle. Now I don't have an answer for you, but I do have a shoulder for you to cry on because I've been there, and the same thing is said about me in relationships, and I'm trying to learn to back off. I'm trying to accept
But
that
why should you?
everyone's not like me, nor should they be. And why should I accept it?
Why
Because
should you
I need.
acquiesce to other people's mediocrity? Robert, why should I dull my sharpness to accommodate somebody else's dullness?
Because you
As
want somewhere
opposed
for that
to
that
require them
pineapple
to
juice to
sharpen
go.
up. Huh?
'Cause you want somewhere for that pineapple juice to go.
There's plenty of places for that. There's plenty of pineapple. A pineapple receptacle is not hard to find. My issue, my
Right.
my issue. Oh, that's Chris. Listen,
You're
Robert.
not dulling yourself though. You're not dulling for
Well,
mediocrity
I
though.
feel like I am when I'm around certain type of energy. I feel like I am sometimes when I'm around. I was having a conversation. Like I remember years ago, man. I had a conversation with my mother, and I just told somebody this the other day. I had a conversation with my mother, and when I realized that what I looked at most things was extraordinary, above average, and I told my mom said, "Son, don't you realize the way that you do most things?" And it's just the way you are, and a lot of us in the family aren't like that, but it just happened to be you. The way you do a lot of things is above average, and you get upset because you think that everybody should do it the way you do it, thinking that that's average. It's not average. What you think is mediocrity, as the word that we just used a minute ago, is actually
Yes.
average. That's
Yes.
normal. What you think is basic is no, and below what you think is a D level, grade is actually a C.
Yes.
It's average across the board. And so when you do things, the way you work out, or the way you do business, or the way you treat relationships, or the effort that you want to put into a romance, or the way that you fucking paint a wall, the way you vacuum the floor and want the lines to be in the motherfucker, everything that you do is above average. Most people don't do that. But when you see somebody not do that, you think that they're tripping. So I'm very in a romantic relationship with a woman, certainly my past two wives. I am very demanding. I do not like the motto of my company is we don't do basic. It's written on my wall in huge letters in the studio in the back near the stock room. We don't do basic. And so
Yeah.
we don't do basic shit. I don't like basic. I don't like regular. I want everything to be a better than that. Now here's the thing. I do realize that most people are not. I get it now. I didn't get it 15 years ago. I didn't know it, but at 50 years old now I get it. But here's the thing. When I show it, now here's where I'm having problems with current relationships with women. When I show you something that's basic and average, I expect them to want to step up and do better. But motherfuckers don't do that. I have an issue with people when you
Right.
say, look at this. This is how you do this. This is how this would be the outcome. And it's not me just fucking being conjecture. This what would happen if you did this. Now go do it. And they still don't do it. I have an issue with that.
I got
I have a
some. I
problem
got.
with that.
I think I got something for you, man. Because it was something that was told to me when I was probably in my 20s, early 20s. A gentleman by the name of Mike Hart. He was a news anchor, and it was my first TV job. I looked at him and I was like, I don't understand why I'm not making the same thing you make. My job is to make you look good. Without me, your job, you wouldn't look good. I'm controlling the cameras. I'm controlling the studio. I'm controlling the light. And I'm in control of all of that. But you're getting paid so much more than me. I don't understand it. What he told me is I can expect to be where he is, and I'm only 20. He's in his 40s at the time. That parallel is to say that while you may run into somebody who has that go-getterness, they may not have the knowledge that you have. And whenever you show it to them, they still don't understand it because they just aren't there. What I think you'll find is they say iron sharpens iron, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may be that you sharpen somebody and later on they come back and sharpen you. But if it's a person that you can't sharpen, maybe they just ain't made of the same material. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because
mm. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
And
No,
that's
I
the
feel
thing,
you.
man. You're dead on, Rob. Yeah, and this is the thing, Shan. So what the and I know you understand it, but the problem for you is you live in that space and you've been in that space and you've been in you for so long that it's just the norm. There might even be a little OCD. I know I am. And so it's hard to conceive how even when you illustrate the thing, when you give them the examples, here's how to and why, and here's how not to and why not to.
Right.
Here's example after answer. You would think that someone would still not only make the choice
Here's
and
the
that's it, make the
answers
right
to the
choice,
test.
right? And you would expect that they would not only apply that to everything else going forward. And it's just like I think you said your mother said it. It's you are exceptional, and it doesn't mean that and it's just realizing where you are, and there's a small percentage of, I remember we talked about IQs once, and there's a small sliver of a percentage of the population that has that place, but this is not about your ability to logically deduce things, analyze things, break things down, and come to the best solution, the best route to do, the most efficient route. And that's always happening for you. And it's not, everybody doesn't have the same capacity. And at some point, it gets really tricky when you interject that mentality, that state that you're in. It's one thing in business. You can thrive in business like that. But then when you get into interpersonal relationships, especially romantic relationships, is going to make you won't believe how many times I've had a woman tell me that I make her feel stupid. And I'm saying, trying to make you feel stupid. It's just 4 plus 4 equals 8. That doesn't, I'm not even saying anything about you being wrong or whatever. I'm just saying 4 plus 4 equals 8. Now, if you came up with 9, that's between you, God, Isaac Newton, whoever. Like, but as a human, I'm starting to understand and learn, though, through that empathy that I talk about, that as a human being, it doesn't matter how logically I'm seeing it, like Dr. Spock, uh, they have emotions attached to that. These words and these actions that you and I might do in a relationship are being perceived through, and they're just a reality. And we can either fight it, and or we can accept it and start to be okay inside. Like, I've learned how to not say anything. I'm still learning, though, and how to let things go, and how
Ooh, that's a tough
to
one.
to
That's a
accept.
tough one for
Yeah,
me.
it's tough.
It's tough to let stuff go. Cause I'll be just like, if I let it, I feel like if I let it go, if I let
You're
some
gonna live it
bullshit,
again.
yeah,
We'll be back here
exactly.
tomorrow, next week.
If
Exactly.
I don't say something about that, and then here's the rub. I still fucking relive it.
Yep.
Even after fucking, it's like, God damn, we just talked about this. It's one
Yep.
thing, you know, I don't mind questions. I know, you know, you want my help, you want my assistance, you want my insights, you want to know something, you want to know how a certain thing. Why didn't you write it down the first time I told you? Okay, no problem. Write it down now. You still didn't write it down. Now we've revisited this topic 3 times. And so that becomes irritating, and maybe it shows in my mannerisms and in the way I move, because I'm kind of like, I feel like it, you know, it's redundant and I'm wasting time. I like efficiency, man, in every aspect of life. I like efficiency in the way I live. I like efficiency in the way I work. I like efficiency in my relationships. I like efficiency in communication. And if we're not efficient in that, let's figure it out. You know, I put my Elon Musk hat on and I say, let's find a solution. And then I expect both parties to be able to work actively on that solution that we both, or me, came up with. You know, and if we come up, or the solution that we both agreed to work on. And if we're not going to do that, and then when I get mad or I get upset or I point out that, you know, you're not doing what we said that we do, they get upset. So I just I think it's more like what Robert is saying. Robert said, you know what, maybe it's just they not made of the same material. And
Yeah.
the problem with that is, who is?
Nobody.
Where they at? Are they all where they at, Rob? Where's the ones that's made of titanium and shit, not aluminum?
A lot of complexities in that answer, because if we're talking about dating and what I believe to be what I know about the type of women you prefer to date,
Which is also, yeah.
which
Brother.
I think that the combination of the two is probably going to be hard to find, because if you want that the sharpest tool in the shed, that tool going to be working on something. And it ain't Shannon Rawls Enterprise. It's whatever the hell they got going on. But they doing it very efficiently, and they on point. I think a lot of times too, because what you're describing sounds like a friend of mine who, you'll have an agreement with your woman, and you guys will say, you know what, I'll work on this, you work on this, and we'll get better in our relationship. And he'll start doing his part, and maybe she starts and she does her part for a week or something like that, and then it falls back off, and then
Right.
you rehash in the same conversation, and I can see how that gets annoying, but I think that's where it's hard for us sometimes to be patient, because it does take a long time for a person to change something that's a habit, whether in business, whether in personal life. They may make that attempt, and I would hope that people would understand, like, hey, I'm just holding you accountable for what you said you're gonna do. I know it's a habit and it's something that's hard for you to break, and you're gonna mess up over and over and over again. But I need you to continually work on it. That's the only way you're gonna show me that you're even trying to progress. Otherwise, Otherwise, again, you back to that. We're not made of the same material. I'm over here trying to sharpen you, trying to get myself sharp, and I'm just putting dents in you while you over here putting burn scars on me. Like,
You you know what I think one of the problems is, and 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 Shahid being the youngest on the panel, he probably sees this more than anybody. Is that everybody? There's just so many fragile. There's so many fragile motherfuckers out there now. Everybody's such a snowflake. They just collapse under any pressure. And when you tell a motherfucker about themselves, it's not the same as when you told a motherfucker about themselves 30 years ago. You know, when if somebody was to say, Shan, your breath stink. Let's say if somebody was like, man, your breath stinks, my nigga. What the fuck? Did you use mouthwash today? I am gonna say, are you fucking serious? Oh goddamn! I'm gonna be like, goddamn! Oh shit! All day. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. That's me.
Right.
say that today, you a bully.
Say that if I tell a motherfucker today, I gotta be almost like you gotta just slide him a stick of gum and don't say nothing. Just be like, here. You can't even tell a motherfucker they breath stink today without them saying. It's almost like you can't tell anybody about themselves anymore. Whenever there's a deficit, whenever there's a deficit, or whenever there's a problem in something, I tell people, listen, I'm a mirror. I'm simply a mirror. I'm gonna show you you. Now, if you don't like what you see in this reflection that I'm showing, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But don't break the mirror. Don't punch on me because I'm showing you a problem that you have. Are you more upset with me? Are you upset with you? But if you upset with you, then beat yourself up. But don't beat me up or the relationship up, because now I don't want to be here. And you're gonna teach me to not tell you shit.
Yeah.
I think that's what one of the things that Wes was saying though, because he said, in quicker terms, sometimes you just got to learn when to shut up. Like, because I do that too. Like my first instinct is if there's something that I see that's wrong, I'm gonna want to say something about it. Like, hey, how can we fix this? Whether it's you venting about your day, what I need to solve it. Like, how do we fix this problem? Or if it's just something that's going on in your life, I might point that out. Like, I've done that often.
Yeah.
And somebody come to me and they'll say, hey, this and this. Somebody came to me and said, hey, I want to get into the entertainment business. Well, here's this opportunity here. Here's this opportunity there.
Right.
That happened 2 times recently. And one of them, I was like, hey, I know this person. Hit him up. I'm going to send him to you, whatever. And then she just backed out. But this is what you said you want to do. So if I think it's sometimes we just, we want to fix things or help people do something. And they're not willing to put in the work themselves, or they're afraid to put in the work themselves for whatever reason.
Yeah, sometimes you got to let people go, not because you want to, not because you don't care, but because they don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
Don't try to help somebody that don't care about what it is that they want more than you care about it. If you care about it more than they do, then you shouldn't be helping them.
Shannon, have they ever told you that you're a control freak?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. So I've been told I'm a control freak. No, because I don't like to micromanage. I haven't been told. I've been told I've been controlling, which
Okay.
I have to give then at which point I give a speech on the difference between controlling and in control. Right, this is a complete difference. Right. I'm very in control of most things that I got going on that I'm involved with. Controlling, no, because again, here's the keys. Here's the keys and here's the operator's manual. Go learn the operator's manual and come back and talk to me tomorrow. I can teach you because I know how to operate this, but I'd rather you read the operator's manual. Motherfuckers don't read the manual. They crash and then they look at me and say, what? Now I'm watching. Are you shifting the gears properly? Did you fucking use the clutch? Where's your put your hands at 10 and 2? I'm watching, and then that may be looked at as a control freak, but you just wrecked this motherfucker last week.
Right. Or when you take the keys and be like, okay, you don't get to drive no more.
Then all of a sudden it's a problem. You want to drive.
Well, yeah, because you history suggests that you will wreck this motherfucker again.
Right. So now can that be considered or misconstrued? I mean, looked at as a control freak, I guess it could be. If I was a car wrecker all the goddamn time, and I went through life, every time I wrecked a car, somebody patted me on the back and said, "Oh, baby, it's okay." I'm not that dude. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that's gonna say, "Hey, put that down. Stop. What you doing? What's going on?" So, and that's where it comes. That's where I demand excellence from everybody around me. Part comes in because no, I don't really. I rarely do. I don't ask anybody for any. Nobody has to teach me nothing, right? I learn it. I figure it out. I'll study it. I'll fucking YouTube it. I'll read it. I'll learn it, and then I'll bring input. Everybody else, Shan, how do you do this? They just want to fast track the shit, and it's like, all right, cool, no problem. I'll explain it once, but then if I'm explaining things over and over again, that kind of becomes problematic for me, man. And that's just a microcosm example of a bigger picture, but I'm sure you guys get it. What's up, Jerron?
Going on, bro?
Jerron always gonna give us that ceiling shot. We gonna always have that ceiling shot.
Hey, Ron, right? He gonna always be at the lowest part of the frame. He gonna always be here with it.
Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna make a confession. Jerron, since you changed move, right? This shot right here is
right.
Bro, this is what I don't want you. I don't say nothing because I'm just like, you know what?
Just be happy you here, brother.
But exactly. But the fact that Shan says it and I've been thinking it for a while, I just like, you know what? The shit is hilarious to me. Like hilarious. So, oh boy. All right, I got that one out.
Jerron, did you pledge undergrad or grad?
No, I pledged undergrad.
Did you go to HBCU?
I went to a PWI for undergrad. I went to HBCU for grad school.
Oh, okay. Because I heard, Chris been sending me all these homecoming photos and shit and videos. I guess it's homecoming season. I don't know. So
it's over now. I don't care about nobody else's homecoming.
So what HBCU did you go to for grad school, Jerron?
JSU, Jackson State.
Oh, did you go to homecoming?
I didn't get to go to their homecoming, but I go to all the games. I've been going I'll be at the game this weekend, college game day.
Yeah, okay. That's gonna be a big game. They're bringing college game day down there.
That's where Deion coaching, right?
Uh huh. Yeah, he had all the celebrities out there last week. Well, Rick Ross, Snoop Dogg.
Miss Timo, what you talking about? What picks? What's she talking about? Miss Timo,
she was talking about
pull up.
Homecoming pick. She's Spellman. Yeah, she can pull up. She's actually been on our
She's been on our show before.
On our Clubhouse.
Oh, Miss Timo, pull up. Yeah. Pull up to the show. Click the link at the top of the chat, or just go to.
Come and tell him about Spellhouse Homecoming, because Shan has no clue. Matter of fact, you know what, Shan? I personally extend, because we can't have Wes there, because Wes gonna say things like, I don't think that we should be giving the ladies that many drinks, because they're a whole woman. We gotta respect them today. Because
we're gonna give them all the drinks, baby. We're gonna fill them up.
Yeah, but I invite your boys to Spellhouse Homecoming, man. Next year, October. It's usually the third week in October. There are a few rules that I want to just put out there. Don't bring your significant other.
Is that a sand to the beach type thing?
Don't bring your significant other.
Okay.
That's rule number one. Rule number two is don't bring your significant other. Rule number 3. If you missed rule number 1 and 2, go back and read it again. Unless she is a HBCU graduate, attended the HBCU, and she
Oh, my face is so
knows,
big.
right, you right in front and center. And she knows like the environment.
Big and pretty.
Like had I seen you, Tab, you know would have been all love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like mad hugs, the whole 9 yards. So welcome. Good evening.
Good evening.
She's Spellman.
I'm doing work. I forgot it was Thursday.
How you forgot it was Thursday?
Because I'm just sitting here doing work and the time is just passing me by.
You see, that means you don't have your notifications on.
I don't.
You're not
That
following.
means she's focused.
Oh, you know what?
That's a focused woman.
You know what? I actually
That's a
forgot to
focused
post
woman right
Instagram today. That's my fault. My bad, y'all.
I'm trying to be focused. Good evening. How's everyone?
How are you?
Good.
So he
thanks.
wants to know what pictures you wanted to share with him. So
I got all kind of pictures.
So you went to Spelman. Did you guys go to school at the same time, or y'all just like different times? But because the school are connected, you guys are connected that way.
what year are you, T?
I was there from 99 to 2003.
Okay, so yeah, we overlapped.
So you was what year was you at Morehouse, Chris?
97 to 01.
Oh snap! So y'all could have partied together. She was a freshman. She was an incoming freshman when you was a sophomore, or at least becoming a junior. All right. All right.
We gonna leave that alone.
So Talitha, did you stay in the dormitories?
I did.
Okay, were you assigned a Morehouse man? Or however that shit works? Chris was explaining it to us.
Yes. I have a
You
Morehouse
were?
brother. Yeah.
So Chris, don't even speak. How does that work, Talitha? I want to hear from the woman's perspective, the assignment of a Morehouse brother and the whole 9 and the dorm. How does it work? So you get accepted to the college, you go day 1, and then what happens?
So during orientation week, we have, so that's just when like the freshmen are there and of course the student leaders, and we have a joint chapel service. And so like literally my year, we walked from Spelman in a line over to Morehouse because their chapel's bigger. And as the Morehouse guys were in a line, as you meet up, that becomes your brother, the person you meet up with.
Oh, so that's cool. That's super random. Okay.
Exchange information, and then that's your brother. And if you stay in contact, you stay in contact. And if you don't,
Talitha, is there any stories of a Morehouse sister falling in love with her Morehouse brother?
my guess would be possibly. I don't know any personally. Like I have friends that dated like their friend's Morehouse brother, and they like ended up together and stuff. But I don't know anyone who like actually married their own Morehouse brother.
Now, did you have a crush on your Morehouse brother?
No.
Ooh, why you gotta say it like that?
Like he's like my brother. Like still to this day, he's my brother.
That was gonna be my next question. Do you still talk to him?
Yes.
Wow, that's
we
crazy.
were actually planning on going to where were we going this summer? Somewhere in Asia. I forget.
You gonna travel with your Morehouse bro?
Yeah, but their COVID restrictions were still, and I was like, I got too much stuff happening in that period of time, so I can't go.
Is this a platonic relationship, Talitha?
All the way. He's a host. I don't fool with him.
That's the Morehouse man.
I know all his business. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're not.
The Morehouse hoes. You're Morehouse hoes. I understand.
I wish you would assign me to be your brother.
Talitha, where did you stay your freshman year?
Gonna be
HH Phi Beta.
Okay, so I'm so glad you said that. I'm like, that's so perfect. So I just want to let y'all know. So she said HH, right? Which is according to um, everybody at Spelman, the dorm is called Howard Harold. That's what Spelman refers to it as. However, at Morehouse, we call them Heavenly Hoes. That's all I'm gonna say.
So
I
Talitha, you
got a
stayed
shirt
with the
that says
Heavenly Hoes.
Wow.
well, we call ourselves Heavenly Honeys because we made shirts that say Heavenly Honeys. And I lived in the
Okay.
penthouse. Okay. So
And them was the worst ones.
it's good
Yeah.
stuff, you know? It's all good.
You know the whole thing about the black community, like, so my mother told me, so my father graduated, my father retired from the Los Angeles Unified School District after 40 42 years, wait, 1966 to 2006, or whatever that adds up to. No, actually, but then he finished in '08, so it was 42 years. My mother retired from the Los Angeles County after 26 years, and what she told me was, back in the '70s, and what my mother would do was she would issue food stamps. So when women would apply for food stamps, or WIC is what we call it out here in California, um, she would evaluate them and blah blah blah, and she would deny or approve women for food stamps. But they had an office in El Monte. It's a city out here in LA. They had an office in El Monte, and she used to tell me that her and about 3 or 4 other sister girls would be at the office, and the white people in the office would marvel at the way that the black women would, you know, work together. And they would high five and girl, and what you do this weekend, and we going roller skating, and we going bowling, back when bowling was popular. And they'd just be, and I guess the white folk would be like, wow, just the way these sisters, these black women are just together is amazing. So I say that to say, when I look at the photos of homecomings from HBCUs, I didn't go to HBCU, I went to PWI out here in Los Angeles. And so I look at the cohesion with black people. I look at like our people just, and I saw one where they was all doing, I don't know if it was at Hampton or if it was at Howard, and they was doing like this whole thing, and the DJ dropped it. It was just a sea of black people. It had to be 2,000 black people. You couldn't, it just looked like a bunch of heads in like this big auditorium, and they would just
It looked like they was in a
rocking.
mall.
Huh?
It looked like, I know what you're talking about. They was swag surfing. It looked like they was in a
Yeah.
mall.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I think that was
damn.
Howard or Hampton, one of them.
But all of y'all do that. And that's just the one I saw this year. I've been seeing that for years. Every chance somebody get it, every year you see a different version of the same thing. And I never got a chance to experience that. And I look at that, and there is no other culture, white, black, Asian, or Latino, that does it like black people. And so when you see like Spelman and Howard coming together, and you walk into the chapel, and they walk, and y'all connect, and now you've been friends for 20 plus years, and in the homecoming games, and all this black love that you guys get by having that experience. I feel like, damn, man, if I had to say I missed out on anything in life, it was attending a HBCU, even though I never really cared to. I never really wanted to, and I don't think it was necessary for my career path. But just that alone is something that I feel like I missed. So that's cool. How did you guys meet? Y'all met on Clubhouse, Chris and Talitha?
Yep.
We met on Clubhouse first?
Yep.
See, that's crazy.
I get older, so I don't remember a lot of stuff. Yeah, and she popped in our Ask a Black Man room. And I think did I look at your bio and message you first?
I think so.
Yeah, so her bio might have had Spelman on it. Spelman women are extremely proud. Extremely proud. Like I get to the airport, and they have on their paraphernalia. Like that's their thing, right? Not saying that Morehouse doesn't do it, but Yeah, so I'm sure she had it in her bio, and probably went from there to Instagram to Clubhouse, and I think she's just been following us since. So um,
Yep.
Cool.
appreciate it. You
Well,
know,
I'm glad you're here, Talitha. So listen, we normally close out at 9 o'clock Pacific, and so we got 50 minutes. So here's the topic, and it's a question for you.
For me?
Since you're here,
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
fucking West. Kanye West.
Oh Lord.
Kanye West. He's the topic of the night. He's gonna be
I don't
the
wanna
new
talk about
artwork.
him.
He's gonna be the artwork for this episode.
I don't want to talk about him.
He's been in the news. It started ever since White Lives Matter, and it's all the way to he's not a billionaire anymore. All in the span of 2 weeks. There's a divide in the black community on Kanye support or Kanye or Kanye. You know, Kanye the Coon or Kanye the genius. Talitha, how have you felt about Kanye from the first time you met him to who he is today? Give us your history on your first thoughts of Kanye back when you were in college. You know, college dropout, the albums and whatnot, all the way through Kim Kardashian and all the way to where he is now.
I'm not too much into pop culture. I'm old.
oh,
Yes, I'm old. I don't be.
baby, you 41.
Let's see. You said what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What did you say?
You're 41.
He told your age on up here.
Oh, you still a
But
baby.
I didn't mean like chronologically old. I just meant like
Your spirit is old.
I'm an old soul.
There you go.
So I really like, honestly, I don't listen to modern hip hop much either. When you talked about like the Dropout album and all that stuff, like I don't even know to this day if I've heard the whole album. To put it like, but I do know. I mean, he's always been weird to me.
Really?
Like, yes.
Even before the political Kanye, before the presidential run, before the Kim, even back when he was just an artist.
Yes. I can see through people. No, because there were just some things, like some of it was, I did feel like, especially some of the lyrics I do know, like he musically comes from an angle. And so like just as a musician, I respect some of that he did musically. But the professional side of me, a psychologist and mental health professional, always knew that crazy. He always been crazy. There's just something wasn't right.
You think it had anything to do with his mother, like a lot of people say?
I don't know because I'm not his therapist. But I just always knew there was something. But now it's just coming out and like people seeing it. So they just 20 years late, 30 years long it's been.
Got it.
I don't know, like I think he's done some good. Like that whole I don't even know what was there when he was doing all the church stuff and like
Sunday
as
service.
a Christian, that was excellent. Because he was reaching people that traditional church folks that stay inside the wall would have never
reached.
met,
Yeah.
I mean, or brought Jesus to them. So did really appreciate that work when he was, in that process. Still, again, I was like, he's just doing the Lord's work, and that's all good. We all have strengths and talent and weaknesses and those things. His is just amplified because he's in the limelight. So sucks for him.
Yeah.
But I did see somebody post like if Kanye still has more than you probably shouldn't be talking about his finance.
Right.
I was, oh, there it is. I don't really know. Back in the day, I did say he needs, I was one of those people that was giving him a pass to like go see your therapist, get on some medication and normalize your but like I think he's just way across the line. And that's it for me.
Jerron, what is your assessment as a what's your assessment? Is it a situation that he's off his meds and he's just crazy and he just needs to be he just be what do you call it, sedated?
So I
I'm
really
not
think
saying
that
sedate. I'm just chemical balance.
Got it. Wait, hold on before everybody. Is it just me or is everybody hearing the flutter in the audio?
There's an
Yeah, I hear
echo
it.
and stat. I've been on mute, so it ain't on my end. So before it ain't me.
I had
It's
the,
probably Will.
yeah. I
No, it's
mean,
all you
I've been on
guys.
mute. It's been echoing from the start. But I did hear the flutter in the audio just now.
It's
Hold
Wes.
on.
See, it's muted. I don't hear it no more.
I think it's the way I ran the show tonight. Either way it goes. Go ahead, Jerron. We'll just deal with it. We'll just power through it.
yeah, I think a bit of both. I think that I think it's been well documented. I think he's I can't remember if he said it or not, but that he does have bipolar disorder. And so I do think a lot of times, when you're not taking medication the way you're supposed to, I want you to have those elevated mood swings where you can go from being hypomania, like mania, or manic depression. A person is, feel like they're on twirl. They may say a whole lot of things, kind of catch other people off guard, and then on the medication, you're a little bit more stabilized. And so I do think in hard time, just being compliant with his medical. There have been times where he's been, you know, talking fine. For a society viewpoint, he's fine. But then it's a lot of times where you tell like something's going on there, where it seems like some type of imbalance is not, something's not lining up. And so I think that I think it's a combination of a few things. I think that the situation, I feel like that played a big role in his life. So sometimes circum situations can have a big impact on a person. I have heard, and I know other people where in their life, at a certain time frame, everything was going well with them, but then something in life where somebody may have passed away or something traumatic happened to them, and they never were the same anymore. We do know we do know people that like something just switched in that person, not the same anymore. And I think that's the same with Cash. I watched the documentary, did some research. You know, Back in the day, we know Kanye was hustler type of mentality. He worked hard, very hard worker, very intelligent guy. His mom was like his everything. He went through everything for motivation. Ace Boon Coon. So Angel, and once she passed away, like a lot of times, I feel like when in spotlight all the time, hard for those individuals to kind of grieve. So the process can take years. And I tell sometimes it takes people forever to grieve. You never get over the losing a parent. I feel like he's still probably grieving when you're trying to grieve in public, and paparazzi and media can make it a lot difficult and hard. And at a certain time frame in your life, you get where it's kind of hard to people. So we know he loved his mom. We know he trusts his mom. He used to go to her for everything. So the person that he could go to, that he trusted, that he had his back, now she's gone. So now who do you go to for trust? Who do you something's going on that that they're gonna tell you you need to know and what you really need to hear? They're there for the right reason and not there just, get your money or just because all these things going for you. I feel like he's living a lonely life too. They say it's lonely at the top sometimes. So,
That's true.
he's lonely. He has those kids with Kim. She won't let him see him really, and it seems like she keeps him from the kid. And I seem like that's really all he has going for him. If it wasn't for those kids, I honestly don't think Kanye West would be. I think he may be in some type of mental institution. Those kids, I feel like keep him going because they gives him sense of reality, some type of normalcy. That I have these kids, my kids, I can see them grow up. I can spend time with them. My kids gonna love me regardless. If I'm crazy or not, they still gonna love me, consider me to be dad. And so I think that's why he's hard for those kids, wanting to see those kids and wanting to make sure those kids have the perfect stuff like that. Because I feel like once he lost his mom, he lost them. And, it was kind of hard back. So I feel like when he started having those kids, that to kind of gain it back. But I do think throughout his life, once his mom passed, different circumstances and things he went through, I do feel like it had an impact on his mental stability. And I do feel like a lot of times we do see him go through stages in his life where you can tell something's mentally not right, some type of imbalance. And then times where he is fine. So I feel like he just got thrown off the road much. And then he's at the point now he probably just it's like one thing has happened, another happens, everything just kind of spiraling out of control. At that point, what do? You lose endorsement deals, you're using all this stuff right here. Hard to come back from that. And so now it's where I tell people at a certain time, man, mental health is a issue, but we can't always use that as an like, okay, he's bipolar, he's unstable, and so he's he's not in his right mind. A lot of these endorsement people, just got tired of it. And at some point, if you have a mental illness or not, it can't be that continues to you use as a crutch for some of the bad decisions. And so I feel like that's where we are with him now. Once one person's killing a person, we know we live in a cancel culture. Everybody's that person, but they don't want to seem like they're still that person. And so I think that's where we are with him now. Same thing with Antonio Brown too. Those two people, they're similar in my eyes. Antonio Brown has some mental issues too, and we can tell that too. And that's prevalent as well. So they kind of, in my eyes, it's kind of like some of the same type of people. They belong so well with each other. They're good friends. I think he has some mental issues too, and you can see he does as well. That it doesn't look normal to the norm, and you can tell there's something going on chemically there.
My thing is, I don't think. Okay, so I do not know what I'm talking about. I do not know what I'm talking about. I am not a professional. I have never taken so much as gone beyond fucking psychology 101. But I don't think that he's off nothing. I think he's just a wild motherfucker. I think he's just a wild motherfucker. People always off his meds. No, he thinks, because this shit is consistent. It's consistent, and it's been consistent for over a decade. And he just don't give a fuck. All the way back to, what did he say? Bush don't care about black people during Hurricane Katrina. Well, not was that Katrina? Yeah, I think that was.
That was Katrina.
Yeah.
I think he just don't give a fuck, and I like that about him. So, by the way, just for the record, I support Kanye. Always have, all the way back. I made a post even on my story the other day, like, all the way back to fucking Yeezy season 1. And I think that he just he doesn't care, and I think he says things that others are thinking. But because he has the nuts to say it, they call him crazy for that. You're not supposed to say that. That's taboo. So you're crazy for that. But I don't think that he's necessarily off his meds. I don't think that he's tripping. I don't think, he's not violent. It ain't like he's lashing out at motherfuckers. When he goes off on a paparazzi, he's going off on a motherfucker that's got a camera and a light in his face while he's out starting the car at 4:30 in the morning in his driveway. And here comes some motherfucker. Hey, Kanye, what you think? It's like, shut the fuck up. That's what all of us would say. But because it's Kanye, you're crazy. You can't say that to a paparazzi. Yes, the fuck you can. Let somebody stand in my front yard at 4 o'clock in the morning. And every day I come home, they there. And every morning I leave, they're out there. I'm going to cuss the motherfuckers out too. But celebrities supposed to know better. Average people wouldn't deal with that shit. The things that we talk about, people say, black people aren't racist. Well, can we be bigots? Can we be prejudiced? Can we be, you know what I'm saying? We have our thoughts on every culture. But if Kanye says it, he's crazy. Then I think about the things that he actually says. So I remove him, and I remove the situation, and I go word for word, and I read it word for word, like from period to period, including all the commas in between. And I look for him to say something that he has no business saying. And I really haven't found anything. That's just me. So I think...
Me too.
What, Robert?
No, me too, because I'm still looking for things like some of this that's pretty accurate.
People was mad when he said, slavery was a choice, right? Slavery was a choice. But when you look at it word for word, well, yeah, if I was a slave, I'd probably be out there saying, yes, sir, master, as well. If I don't, I die. I still got a choice. Now, if he's going based on the surface level of that statement, slavery is a choice. 4 words with a period. Everything is a choice. That's the whole purpose of the movie The Matrix. It's all about choice.
And
When you're a sentient being and you are self-aware, you get to choose. You guys get to choose to be on this podcast. You get to choose to where you're gonna sleep tonight. You get to choose on who you get married to. You get to choose what you're gonna eat every day. We all have choice. That's the beauty of human beings. Now, I know Kanye's not really saying it like that. And when you add context and you add what he's talking about, then you put in the MAGA hat and all that other kind of stuff. What's he really going? But based on his words and his words alone, it's actually true.
So here's the thing, though, Shan.
Go ahead.
I respect that. I give it right back to you. The fact that you're able to articulate, and we say that Kanye is a genius. I believe genius. I think it's a musical genius. I don't think he's an actual genius. Although I do think he's had some brilliant thoughts at times. That being said, you were able to articulate that very, very succinctly, the technicality that exists and which makes his words true. But not only was he not able to articulate that, it wasn't that his meaning. You're able to intellectualize and pull out the technicality that this statement true, but it's like saving a brook. Even a brook is right twice a day. That's not what Kanye meant when he said. Otherwise, he would have been able to articulate that, some of the other things that he articulated about that statement. So I hear you, and you're technically correct. It's all about the person's intent and meant in those words, and he did not mean what you mean, which is technically correct. I got a choice to live, but we also understand that that ways that's understood. What's understood doesn't need to be said. Which, oh yeah, well,
that goes without saying.
Right. If someone puts a gun to my brother's head, then it's a choice for him to give up the bitch on me or die or whatever this might be. But that scheme of life and the existence that we have, the choice is to either exist or not was not necessarily a choice. So I get you though, but anything I'll just say and I'll be quiet. But 2 things true at one time. Hell, 3 or 4 things true at one time. Now I'm someone who grew up in a household. My middle brother has been diagnosed with schizophrenia all my life. He's older than me, and it showed up in his high school years. Is when it started to kind of a little bit. But my mother's death, experienced into what Jerron was speaking about, experiencing that traumatic. My mother's death escalated that, and I think was the catalyst for the was already predisposition for to actually escalate and go. And so sometimes it's just trigger, and so he can absolutely have a mental health issue, whether it's by or some other thing. And of course, I'm not a psychologist or whatever. That can actually be true. He can also really not give a fuck. He can also be a musical genius, and he can also asshole all at the same time. Might even be a few of those things.
I think though,
But you also, I'll be quick. You also have parents because you have a sibling that has it. So you saying yourself how it affects a person. Mental illness affects a person, and then also if someone escalates that mental illness. So you've seen it yourself. So it is actually true.
Right. Absolutely.
yeah, I think we all might think that we sitting watching the Kanye show unfold, but the reality is he's sitting back and watching unfold around him. Like, this is strategic. Like, he literally has mapped out everything that he has done prior to. Literally said, he said, I can say something. He was in a terrible contract with a dude he did not want to be in anymore. They control everything, but he owned everything. Literally went on an interview and said, I say something, and he said, my relationship is this. I can say something anti-Semitic, and he just will let me go. So what does he do? something anti-Semitic, and he gets out of the contract that he wanted to get out of. All the contracts to be out of, he's out of. Then he posts text
Yo,
messages. He text messages with his lawyer telling him, "Hey, all your creative rights, have at it, have them." Everything this man wanted, it's like, and I'm not denying that there's some mental health component there, but it's not extreme that people are making it out to be.
So you saying he's playing chess and we over here playing checkers?
Absolutely. When we talk about mental health, you don't have control over certain things. Mental health, when you're sporadic like that, it gets you punched in the mouth, you hurt, it gets a lot of
right.
negative things that happen to you. You notice he's not putting any of those positions to where he's himself. Everything that he got, he wanted to be dropped from these cuts and these deals. This is not like
He
he
said,
was
I heard
I
Adidas,
agree.
it cost Adidas $238 million just
and
to cancel.
that's him flexing his. Y'all dropped me, and now y'all in this upcoming quarter, you losing $1 billion. He's flexing his. He's showing everybody, I'm that nigga. Like
Yeah,
everybody said, still a nigga. He's showing people, no, I'm because now Kanye. I said it before. He's going to come out. He's going to apologize. Everybody's going to accept him back to graces, and he's going to start all over again. And like in the previous interview, I'm gonna sit down for 4 years, and then I'm gonna come. They're gonna say I'm not in there no more. Then I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna be for the world again. This like he did all this. It's
yeah,
documented.
The way you talking, Shaheed, he probably in cahoots with Kris Jenner. They probably in the smoky room saying,
I agree with you, bro. And if to that when we was talking about this last time, back to the 49 minutes and 23 mark, and I specifically said that when his genius collides with potential narcissism, specifically that he's doing might be, and this was before the anti-Semitic comment. I said what he be doing. I said he has an issue with Adidas, maybe some other business entanglements. He may be doing is forcing them people to cancel him so that the corporate let him out of these contracts, and then he has a clean slate. So yes, I think, and when with black people and disparaging up and work, then you go to the next tier, something that's anti-Semitic. That being said, all money ain't good, and I think this is where the narc kicks in, is because it benefits him at any cost, even at the cost of perhaps hurting some of the black community who might find those remarks disparaging, or hurting even uh, um, Jewish community that he might have as friends, because he can make those and still retain friends. We might know him personally and understand what he's doing or where he's coming from. Um, so I think, again, thing I'll say is I just think multiple things can be at the same time. But the one thing that's really true is, and I'm with you, Shaheed, he don't make the moves that he makes as a crazy person. Like, though the moves that he's making, maybe some relationship he deals with his mental health stuff or whatever the case is, other things that he's done, he's doing, with his full mental capacity intact, making these
right.
calculated, risks.
So
I
my
got you.
thing though,
And
like
it's probably, and it is ignorance.
real quick, Rob,
It's a
like
question. Go ahead.
we lagging a little bit. My thing with when it comes to black community isolated to the community, like realistically speaking, take our emotions out of it. What has Kanye done to our community? That's the question.
done to it? What has he
Right.
done to our community?
Negatively, what has he done to our community? Take our
I
emotions
can
out
tell
of
you
it.
right off the
He's
top,
stuff.
one thing that is he listen, and we know no person is we're not a monolith, and no person is the representative of all black people, but we know that in other people's mind, state of the world, reality of it is that people stereotype people, whether you're Jew, black, or whatever. We have these stereotypes and what he has done is right off the rip. What he has done made it a lot harder for this black person to get in that position and to be trusted by these very same corporations, to be given the same amount
Emotion
of
talk.
I
investment
want to jump
and
in on that right
leeway.
there.
That's emotion talking.
Mm,
Right?
Yeah, I
I
want to
think
jump
that's a
right in on
stretch.
that. I want
That's
to
a
jump in
stretch.
That's
because
because the next black is that is just as financially viable as Kanye West, gonna jump right on it. Kanye gonna
But
hesitate.
the next,
They,
I got. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, like, the next sign that they see come out of this black community, they're gonna try to exploit it. Kanye, they're not gonna
Yeah, for sure.
they're not gonna hesitate at like, nah, Kanye West, he
You,
not taking a chance on y'all.
you're right, and they will exploit it. But here's the difference, though. They will be less willing to put to. They will be willing to more even more so, and less willing to the amount of freedom or investment, right? So they're
Oh,
gonna always look to exploit culture. That's black culture moves the world. That's we dictate everything, and they sell it back. They take our culture back to us, and we're
but
the
on the
idiots that buy it back.
on the flip though, Wes, look at if that's business minded. I put Kanye West up there with some Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey did it on a smaller scale when it comes to entrepreneurship, business. But if you think about Kanye West has shown people like, damn, if I really value my self worth, showing you, I don't give a fuck what any of y'all think. I know worth, I know who I am, and it's nothing y'all can do about it. I see empowerment there. But when
That's the
Right,
thing.
right.
Oh, right there, right there, right.
from
That's the thing.
I'm gonna just be honest, it's some deep rooted white supremacy idea in our own people that Kanye that way. Because they believe that this black man is going up and bucking against them like that, and they calling him crazy. I look at it, it's like Kanye West has done nothing against my community and my people. Black Lives Matter shit, I'm not into the emotional like most people are. That shit had no effect on me at all.
And you just said it. You're not emotionally invested like most people, but that's the key. Most people are, though. We are by the words people use, the things they call us, and that. So
I love the fact that Kanye West is picking emotionally charged people's backing. Like he keeps saying shit because we need being so emotionally charged and just look at shit is.
That's hey. Let me jump in right here because this
Go,
is
Rob.
towards my ignorant question. Am I working? Somebody said Rob. Is it right? We
Yeah,
good.
go
We
ahead.
good. So to me, we as humans, we have the tend to focus on the most negative thing versus the positive, right? Kanye West has said a lot of to me. Whenever I break it down and I deduce it, every single thing, maybe not every single the things that Kanye West has said that's been wild and out just to make somebody think. And when you think about it, he's doing things to teach you about your own empowerment. He's doing things to teach you that you can go be business. He's going out there and teaching you that you don't need anybody else on your platform. He's going out there and he's trying to spark people's minds by telling them that are actually true facts. And this is to my next question, and hopefully you guys can educate. I honestly do not know, and maybe I hear the full statement. I don't understand how saying the Jewish community owns the black voice is Semitic. Whenever I know that the Red family owns Viacom, Viacom Paramount, Paramount owns whenever I know that all gave up 40.01% of their company to build their platform, meaning AMC that voice. When I think about the music industry and who's at the top of those, is what he said actually true. It's just some people don't want to hear. Like, and to me, how is that anti-Semitic to say, hey, these people they get to control what it is that we put out, and that
that's not
why is it that we
what he
why is it
said.
that we can talking about
No,
we can
yeah,
kill
he
we can
did
kill
say
ourselves,
he
we can
said
sell drugs to ourselves, we can be oversexed to us, but we can't say that somebody else kind of controls what it say. He
That's
didn't
not.
say I hate Jewish people. He didn't say I want to kill Jewish people. He didn't say fuck the
No, no,
Holocaust. He
no,
didn't
no.
say none
Right,
of
right
that.
there, right there, right there. So this is the thing. What
Unless I
I'm
missed
saying
it.
is that
he
what
said
that's
they
not what
go
he said. The anti-Semitic statement was when he said, "Understand and read," was when he specifically because you're not wrong at all. You're 1,000%. But the anti-Semitic part was when he said, and it's funny because I wouldn't have this conversation outside of of our community. What when he said I'm going something going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, you and I and Shaheed, everybody on this panel, we know physical violence.
right.
I'm finna flex my weight, my value, and show you how it's
So it's
done,
saying
how I
bomb on a
that.
plane.
But they DEFCON 3, And in in their lives, that the only reality to DEFCON 3
Let's
is
back that up, Wes.
nuclear.
I hear where you're going. Let's back that up. What about Nick Cannon? He didn't say DEFCON 3. He didn't say anything like that. What about him?
They canceled his
Wait,
I
ass
mean,
quick.
I don't.
They made him. They
Yeah.
made him get down on his knees and give a blowjob before.
Bend the knee, right?
That's our strategy. We all know when we heard DEFCON 3, Kanye was not putting out a physical on Jewish people. We knew that, and
Right.
they knew it. But he specifically knows those words for a reason. Now he can go back and say, what I meant by DEFCON 3 is yada, yada, yada. It's still going to be some smoke with the Jewish community. He's not going to have to start over, which he's completely, you a creative genius of that ilk, don't mind. Because Kanye West can think $1 billion brand or anything, but that's not really like a thing for him. But with Kanye West, he is now I told y'all before, he is making people the mirror up to themselves. Kanye West, he went to, I think he was LA, and he went to Skechers and tried to do a deal with it. They turned that down. But do you really Skechers wanted to turn that down? No, that could have took Skechers to put them up there damn near with Nike. But now you have to look yourself in the mirror and like, damn, we really want to do this deal. We don't want to pull the sheets from over ourselves. So now that's what Kanye, you gonna have the decision. You either deal with Kanye and pull the sheets off of yourself, or you got to fake stand on something. And that's all about it, because this is exactly what is about the DEFCON 3 on the. Y'all don't care, like Leor Cole, when they asked him, why are you signing so many artists that are pushing an opioid crisis or whatever? He just stared, like he didn't know what to say. It's like that. And it's some people that just didn't know how to think on that level, so I get why they don't say what Kanye's doing. Like, it's the emotionalism of this. Other people are dictating think. A lot of black people don't know what anti-Semitism is. Like, just the reality, they don't. So it's just like, now you got a bunch of black people thinking that they on the side of, don't even know what's really going on here. I love about what Kanye West is doing, because it's pulling the sheets off of a lot of people, exposing them, it's exposing their ignorance, and it's just, you got to look in the mirror.
Is Jay-Z still in with Puma?
Nah.
Yeah.
See, but that's the thing about it. Like, for instance, like this statement that that Lisa says right here. She says that, Skechers is owned by Jewish people. That deal was never going to happen. And Kanye West was escorted. So Robert Greenberg owns Skechers, right? Greenberg. We know Goldberg, Greenberg, Steinberg. We know this. But that's so when in there's people in the chat saying black men is going to support Kanye. We are analytical. Men are analytical. We are analytical.
And these people, with all due respect, these are that cannot think up on that level. Like,
and that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to convey. So when you see, like, you're gonna support. That's because when it comes to logic and reason and analyzing a situation, men, just typically men, we remove emotion. When you remove emotion from a thing, shit becomes super, super clear. And so, for instance, you think by any stretch of your imagination that Kanye really wanted to deal with Skechers knowing that Robert Greenberg was the owner? No, it was a political move. This is what I think Shaheed is trying to explain when he says, now, did he know he was going to get escorted off the property? I don't know. But he knew he wasn't going to get no deal. But he knew that, you think he just all willy-nilly said, you know what, let me just pull up to Skechers. After I just got fucking shut down for anti-Semitism, let me go pull up to Skechers, where Robert Greenberg is the founder and CEO since 1992, and try to work a deal with them. No, we know that's more news coverage. It's all intentional. It's intentional. But when you say things like, oh, that was never going to happen, it's because you're looking at it from an emotional surface level standpoint. You're not going a couple layers deeper.
But that's like teasing. Kanye went to Skechers, just tease them and say, yes, I'm the $1 billion man. I will raise stock $1 billion X. want this deal. He knew they were going to say no.
Of course
But
he did. Of course he did. And he knew there would be news coverage as a result of it. So, it's
So I was thinking about a pair of Skechers, if ever.
Right. But see, look at this comment of Lisa says billionaire. Damn, y'all believe anything. His value anywhere Kanye goes, it's $1 billion valuation off the rip. So like, we not talking about how much money he has in the account.
He said the other week, he said he only has $120 million in his bank account.
Right. None of these people got that money in their bank account.
Exactly. But they make these emotional statements. Oh, y'all believe anything? You really believe he's a billionaire? Do you understand valuation?
Jay-Z's not a
like I wish I had in cash what I'm worth. I have a certain net worth. I don't have it in cash, but I certainly have a certain net worth. If I was to sell everything and liquidate, I'd probably eventually, after maybe a year or two, end up with that amount of cash. But if I wanted to write a check today, I couldn't do it. But I got a lot of shit. And so my net worth is different than how much I can cut a check and give Robert tonight. It's just a difference.
Right.
Talitha, I see you listening at us. You just listen to this men talk. Talitha, like, I don't give a fuck about no goddamn Kanye. I told you I never liked the motherfucker even from the very beginning. I didn't like him from College Dropout. I didn't like him from the album Graduation. Fucking The Life of Pablo. Kanye been crazy all along. That's what Talitha. She giving us that look, y'all.
I'm usually watching y'all from the bed at this point in time.
I know. Well, you got to hang out with us for, it looks like 7 minutes and 50 seconds. That's when we're going to close out.
And Chris sent me a message talking about this something smells like, no, I'm just sleepy. All right, 8 minutes. What we going to do for 8 minutes?
Wes has a question for you.
Go ahead, Wes.
No, he don't. No, not. No, he doesn't. I'm not fooling.
Talitha, I have a very important question for you.
No, I'm not fooling with you today.
Talitha, would you like to mud wrestle? Would you wrestle?
What I do?
Would you like to mud wrestle?
Do I get to pick who I wrestle with?
Of course. By all, ladies' choice.
Well, before this whole Kanye conversation, might have been Shan.
Let me send my DM. Let me send my number. Let me send my number.
Give me your number and I'll call.
Tell Talitha, I'll catch a red eye. Don't play with me.
So now that Shan done fucked that up.
You could.
What?
Now that Shan has ruined that. Would you like to much?
I like white beards, Wes. I like beards.
Where she posted your second, bro.
Have you ever white beards?
What?
Have you ever had two?
Two?
Trying to see what's on the menu. I'm just ladies. Okay.
Oh man.
Because I've got North Bay covered and Shan's got South Bay covered. So if you fail somewhere in the middle, let me. You know what? I'm on.
To wrap up the whole Kanye conversation, you know what I didn't know is that he owns the brand, but he doesn't have control over it. Like corporate own, like I own the masters to all my shit, to everything, right? Fashion, everything I do. And I don't understand it when it gets to that $1 billion level where you can own something, but you can't control it. So he can't do anything with Yeezy. Like the Yeezy Adidas is like, I guess the nature of the contract. These are contracts that be 50 pages thick, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to have a lawyer.
How that works now is like the actual Adidas shoe is owned by Adidas, but they put Yeezy on it. So, but the reality is the name is worth more than the design. That very same design, that's not going $250. but if you put E on it, it will. Because now it's Yeezy. So what happens is, for example, with Skechers, Skechers would have already had the design of the shoe. He would have some input on it and work with them, and then he would have slapped Yeezy on. And now the valuation of the shoe is hiked up in X because it's a Yeezy now. So
No, I get it.
if
So I understand the IP. I get
Right.
intellectual property. I'm just thinking it's a trip where, because like when he was with Nike, that's when he came out with the Red October, right? Remember the Red
that's it.
Octobers? And I had a chance to get some of the motherfucking shoes. I can't believe I didn't. Anyway, it's a whole nother show. So I understand that he owns the intellectual property of Yeezy, but to be able to be told, and I guess that's probably his beef, to be able to be, because Adidas started knocking off his own shit.
Right.
They got shoes out now that look like the Boost 350s. And it's like, damn, Adidas, that's cold blooded. How you knock yourself off? And then, with that foam runner, the fucking slides, the $500 slides, they knocking that off. And it's just like, I guess that's what's pissing him off, but he's nothing he can do about it. And to me, that's wild when you claim that I own 100% of a thing, but you don't control
Right.
100% of a thing. It's just wild.
So here's right, and it is, but the perfect sense, because when you think about it, picking Kanye out of it, but just thinking about the brand that someone might own, that likeness that's based upon who they are and their face and the whole nine. If a company is going to make a large investment monetarily far beyond what, so when they make this deal, they're giving him money based upon his brand alone, but they're also considering the potential, making deals that's not just what I'm worth right now, but what do we potentially look at making? And for that company to reach that potential, that kind of bread, they need to control the narrative and drive steer the car and drive the ship or whatever to that destination, because otherwise giving you all of this money and then because you also have 51 control or something, some controlling amount of the company, you can just drive it tomorrow and they'll never be able to recoup their money. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that they would say, hey, we're going to forever pay you. This is your creation. We're going to forever make sure that your IP. But if we're going to money that we're going to give you back, we need to control how we make it. We need to, because we have a vested interest. Once we give you the money, we're the only ones in a vested interest in getting.
Got it. All right. I can dig that.
I think kind of points where he believes that he has just voice and just as much influence to get people to buy as Adidas does. Therefore, he doesn't need a Adidas contract that he's in. Like you said, if they knocking off own stuff, why are you gonna undercut me and I'm your business partner? So
I see what he's trying to do, though. And I guess that's the reason why you want to get out of these deals, and so you can do it, because all he needs is a manufacturer. And I know he used the Adidas to as a vehicle, but it's kind of like In-N-Out Burger. Like, so In-N-Out Burger is an amazing business model for me. The founder, is he passed away, and now his daughter's in control of In-N-Out, and she never went public. It's a privately family-owned burger stand. They sell 3 burgers, French fries, and drink. That's it. Ain't no desserts on that motherfucker. Ain't no nuggets. Ain't no sliders. Ain't no special something else. The menu is fucking 5 items. And the line to In-N-Out is out the fucking street. And I feel like going to get some tonight. I might just, when we end this motherfucker, I might jump in the car and run to In-N-Out. Just talking about it got me thinking about it. And so, but she owns that shit. And she never went public. And people would say, oh, all you got to do is go public, and then, we sell the stock, and then the company will skyrocket, and next thing you know, you have In-N-Out on all the corners and everywhere. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. That's not that. I think her father said before he passed, don't ever do that. You got enough money. You don't need to be any richer. And so as a result of that business model, billionaire anyway. So I could be a billionaire where I own all of my shit, or I could be a billionaire where I got to do what the fuck this board of directors and shit tells me to do. Which one do you do? Well, the first one may be harder to achieve, but if you stick with it and you stay persistent over time, that's where you'll end up. If you want to fast track to billionaire status, then I guess go with the corporations. And I guess Kanye's learned that the hard way. But ultimately, he's probably gonna be okay, because now he's figured a way to get out of that fucking corporation side and then take that shit back to the same way that In-N-Out Burger's doing. their stuff where they own. They say, look, this is our burger. You want an animal style or a regular? Just pick one. Hey Talitha, we appreciate you being here. We're gonna let you go to bed now.
It's past my bedtime. I do early meetings, so this should be fun.
All right, cool. Make sure you tap in with us next week, Talitha. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for tolerating us guys sitting here talking about Kanye West for the last hour and a half. We appreciate everybody being here. We appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much. Please, everybody, like, subscribe, share the video, tap into Ask a Black Man Anything. Let people know about our show. And if you have any questions, send us an email or be ready to pull up. You can ask from the chat using the super chat next Thursday, or you can always call into the show. We appreciate you guys so much. We will talk to you later. What were you saying, Talitha?
I think Chris said something.
Chris, what you saying?
Oh. He said it to me.
Oh, okay.
Talking about bring my Spelman sisters. They be in the bed where I should be.
Are you in Atlanta?
Shan, don't be talking about Kanye no more. He's gotten the left press.
Talitha, I think you shooting your shot at me. You know, I could detect. I know. Don't you play with me? Where you at? What city? Where are you at?
In Georgia.
In Atlanta? In the A?
Metro. I don't have an Atlanta address, so I live in Atlanta.
Let me go check flights right real quick. See if I need to pull up to the A.
Y'all funny.
Play with me.
And Wes and his mud rest.
Yeah. What you say, Talitha?
Who else is still on?
We all here.
Yeah.
Oh. Why ain't nobody?
Nobody's here, Talitha. Just me, you, and
we should have stayed quiet. She's probably about to just me, Wes, and Shan. Oh shit, she's probably about to start talking for real.
About to pour her heart out.
She was about to. Shan, you get that red eye, Wes. You get you a ticket too.
Wait a minute now. What is you think I am?
Listen, I'm bringing pineapple juice. I'm bringing pineapple juice.
I'm bringing a whole pine tree.
It's organic.
Ooh. Gotta be organic. No pesticides, baby. No pesticides.
Additives, no preservatives.
And no preservatives.
Not from concentrate.
Oh my God. All right, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Talitha, for being here. We appreciate you.
Yes, we appreciate you. Gentlemen, it's been
I'm seriously thinking about running over the In-N-Out burger. I'm gonna go look in the fridge.
Running over the In-N-Out?
Yeah, I'm gonna run the one on Century over in Inglewood.
I might hit In-N-Out myself, man. I haven't hit it in 2 weeks.
Oh man, shit, that's a foodgasm. Every time I buy